Our automation and AI meetup was a great success. We had diverse group of participants, including developers, industry professionals, and other enthusiasts, all eager to explore the latest developments in cloud native technologies. And the discussions were rich, covering practical insights into how automation is reshaping the deployment and management of applications and how AI supports these processes.
Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bhartiya and welcome to TFiR Let's Talk. Today we have two guests with us, Caroline Lisa, Digital Marketing Manager at Anynines, and Alessandro Vozza, Developer Relations at Solo.io. Caroline, Alessandro, it's great to have you both on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to host you here. You folks organized the Cloud Native Saar Meetup last year. Talk a bit about the topic of the meetup, what kind of turnout happened, what kind of discussion you saw. Some you were expecting, some you were amazed. So just give us an overview of this meetup.
Yeah, the Cloud Native Saar Meetup is a joint project hosted by Anynines and other cloud native enthusiastic companies in Southwest Germany. Our goal is to provide a platform for developers, end users, and vendors, for example, to come together and exchange knowledge about cloud native computing. So the CNCF, so Cloud Native Computing Foundation, supports this mission globally, encouraging the formation of community groups to foster collaboration and learning. And the goal within our Cloud Native Saar Meetup is to spread awareness about cloud computing, also for beginners, to connect them to the world of cloud native technologies. And with our meetup, which have also taken place in person in the past, we want to bring the topic and its importance closer to the economy of Southwest Germany and the surrounding area, and to support and show local companies that cloud native technologies empower organizations to build and run scalable applications in diverse environments, including public and private and also hybrid clouds. And this involves utilizing containers, service meshes, microservices, immutable infrastructures, and declarative APIs. And these are all topics we cover in our meetup, also to show when adopting these techniques, systems become loosely coupled, resilient, manageable, and observable. So in order to further advance our opportunities in this area and expand our target group for our meetup, we have offered a number of online and even hybrid meetups, also to enable interesting presentations and discussions with, for example, CNCF ambassadors like Alessandro and other field experts.
So Alessandro, from your perspective, talk about the importance of meetups, because your role at Solo.io Developer Relations. What purpose these meetups serve? I mean, we have bigger events, right? KubeCons also, but these meetups have their own strength. So talk about the strength and talk about this meetup.
Yes. Well, this is actually the the topic that is closest to my heart. I started more than 10 years ago running the Dutch DevOps meetup, and that was kind of the singularity event in my professional life, because I discovered the power of communities. We started organizing DevOps Days Amsterdam. Then a few years later, of course, being illuminated on the path to cloud native, I started the Kubernetes meetup in Amsterdam. We now have 3,600 and something members, which means that we're doing something right, or at least the project and the Cloud Native Computing Foundation supporting our communities, we are doing something right. So we are addressing a real need for people to get together and talk about technology, because yes, there's all this super cool geeky stuff like Istio Service Mesh and AI, but in the end is about getting people together, right? So this is the core of human nature, right? So we are gregarious animals. We are meant to share at least definitely we work better together. And so it's a topic that is very close to my being and to my, it's like a calling for me, right? So I spend time, and my employers support me, of course. All my employers supported me in this path, and the foundation supports us. We do Kubernetes Community Days, which are larger local conferences about Cloud Native. And definitely when I got contacted by Cloud Native Saar to be part of this, I show my support and show up and express my opinion. But it's not just my opinion; it's more like making people feel they are part of a bigger thing, bigger project than just one person. So yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Now I will talk a bit about the topic also, automation and AI. Talk a bit about what the reason, Caroline, you can also take a lead there, of choosing this topic.
We chose the topic of automation and AI for our meetup because it represents the intersection of cutting-edge technologies that are transforming the landscape of cloud-native computing. And in today's dynamic environments, the ability to automate processes and leverage artificial intelligence, it's not just a trend, it's a necessity for organizations looking to stay competitive. And we wanted to delve into the practical applications and implications of these technologies within the context of cloud native computing. So automation plays a key role in achieving this, allowing engineers to implement high impact changes frequently and predictable with minimal toil.
And from your perspective, Alessandro, how or Solo's point of view, we can look at service mesh space, the broader landscape of cloud native as well. Actually, at the last KubeCon, AI, generative AI was one of the hardest topic. Every interview I conducted, that was a topic there. From your perspective, what are you seeing that's happening there?
You're right. In Chicago, there was a unconference, like a half day, or I think it was a whole day dedicated to these topics. And since then, in fact, like the working group, artificial intelligence reached maturity and is now part of under the technical advisory group for runtime. It's an interesting place for artificial intelligence working group within CNCF. But of course, the Cloud Native Computing Foundation ecosystem is not insulated, right? So we live in this world, and 2023 has been the year of the advent of generative AI, and especially generative AI put in the hands of the everyday people, right? So software engineers, but also my wife, even my kids do know about ChatGPT, right? So, and it's this transformative power of technology, and we are here to also discuss what to do with it, what can we do to contribute, and maybe people don't know much about it, but definitely technology like OpenAI relies on cloud native technology. Famously, OpenAI runs large Kubernetes infrastructure for the inference and training of models. So there's it's a two-way street. We can contribute to advancement of AI and machine learning and the advancement of the technology behind it. We also benefit from it. So we've seen that there are startups and incubated projects like KTS GPT that leverage those generative AI models and apply them to infrastructure, to software development, to get the best of both worlds, right? So there's a symbiotic relationship between artificial intelligence and cloud native, and I'm sure 2024 will see even more about it, even more of this symbiosis between.
Excellent, thanks, Alessandro. And Caroline, when we look at as he's talking about this whole symbiotic relationship, what did you see there? The discussions of folks at the meetup from the perspective of this topic?
Our automation and AI meetup was a great success. We had diverse group of participants, including developers, industry professionals, and other enthusiasts, all eager to explore the latest developments in cloud native technologies. And the discussions were rich, covering practical insights into how automation is reshaping the deployment and management of applications and how AI supports these processes. The presentations and discussions highlighted real-world use cases, best practices, and the challenge encountered by organizations embracing these technologies. And it was inspiring to see the level of engagement and exchanges of ideas among the community members. Overall, the meetup provided a platform for attendees to gain valuable insights and share experience and to connect with like-minded individuals who are passionate about the future of cloud native computing.
Now, Alessandro, I want to come back to you and talk a bit about when you look at AI or generative AI. Of course, there are a lot of advantages that we see. Are there any disadvantages also where you're like, hey, it's not like just blindly go and embrace these technologies? These are some pros and cons. There are some caveats as well.
Indeed, like artificial intelligence, as every technology, is a dark side. I mean, there could be consequences, and there are for sure, we already seen consequences of application of the technology in the wrong way. It's a given, it's intrinsic into every new technology that there could be people losing their job or forced to reevaluate their skills. But that's part of progress. It's nothing. It's nothing personal. I was reading Gary Kasparov Deep Intelligence book. It's a great book, and it's about Gary Kasparov, the chess grandmaster, was beaten by Deep Blue, and that's now computers and AI has become one of the necessary tool to learn chess for the grandmaster. So in a span of a few decades, AI went from the enemy to beat to the best ally of grandmaster or chess grandmaster. So see, if you were resisting the trend, you probably would be condemned to irrelevance in the world of professional chess. But if you embrace the tool, you may become even a better player. And I think the same can be applied. We can predict that the same will be for generative AI, and putting AI in the hands of the everyday man and woman will trigger unforeseen consequences. Most of them will be positive. At least I like to think that. I mean, I'm a techno optimist, but some of them will be definitely not welcome, and we need to get together to counteract. So communities like CNCF are also coming together to understand the ethics of adopting certain technologies. Nothing intrinsically bad or good about technologies, how you use it. So for example, and one example is within the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, we also talk about environmental sustainability, right? So computing brings the modern world to existence. It allows us to order food online, or allows us to communicate across the world in an instant. But we also comes with a cost. So all this computing power do generate CO2, do consume electricity. So the CNCF, again, at least the community, the people that made the CNCF, which is made of people, right? So we come together, and there's a technical advisory group about environmental sustainability, and we discuss the environmental implication of the software we run, and same is happening for artificial intelligence. We want to understand how can we create a better world through software, through communities, through open source, using all the tools we have at our disposal, for example. And even it would be great to apply, for example, application of AI to reduce environmental impact of software that could be very interesting development. So you see, it's a brave new world. It's always a brave new world. What is changed is that things are accelerating at pretty fast pace. You know, within a year we start talking about AGI and artificial general intelligence and all these deep topics. And I always thought, I'm 47 and I saw the internet becoming a thing, right? So, and I always thought how lucky I was to be there when the internet was created and I could witness with my own eyes. But I believe this is the best time to be alive. I mean, this is even better than the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. This is absolutely the best time to be alive. And I look at my kids and I'm a bit jealous because they're gonna see the true unfolding of these technologies. Well, probably I will be too old to understand, right? So it's interesting. Yeah.
Talk about how or what role you see AI can play in helping users, customers, kind of tackle with this complexity in a much better way, because the complexity is not going to go away. From what I see is it is going to get even more complicated.
Complexity is a necessary evil, right? So I always, people like to talk about complexity, but there are different kind of complexity. There is the good complexity, you know, like you want to run a planet scale Uber or Airbnb style platform. It's a complex thing to do, right? So it's not gonna go away because you use a certain tool. I mean, there are good complexity that solve real problems, and then it's the bad complexity, right? The one that comes from inefficiency and waste. And if there is a word for 2023 and a word that will also be the one for 2024, is efficiency, is optimization of what we already have, all the human capital and the server estates and the computing power, using it to the best we could. And we owe it to ourselves and to the planet, of course, because we want to optimize also the consumption and the impact of our choices in terms of environment. So AI will guide us, and we need to be aware of where we're going for sure, even with the guidance from our machine overlord. But AI will guide us to a more efficient world, right? A more efficient use of resources. And I think that's the transformative value. Nothing qualitatively different, but more of the same, more efficiency. So I personally ask OpenAI, ChatGPT, how I can get better at what I do, but I filter, of course, all the results through my own judgment, my own human nature and human capacity for understanding where I'm going. But definitely I'm going much faster because I have this extra tool in my tool belt, which is AI. So I think it's nothing to be scared of, but something we really need to think about. And I think it will be a great, for everyone, a great tool to use for this.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, Caroline, I will get back to you. Talk a bit about what's next in your pipeline. Of course, I'm not talking about CI/CD pipeline. I'm talking about your event planning pipeline.
The upcoming events, of course, is the KubeCon, and we plan to have a meetup around KubeCon, also with a topic based of a KubeCon presentation, maybe with a speaker. So I'm really looking forward for our next meetup, and updates can be found on LinkedIn or on our social media and on our official CNCF channel.
Caroline, Alessandro, thank you so much for taking time out today. Talk about not only this meetup, but also a very important topic, AI and automation. Thanks for all those great insights. And I look forward to meeting you folks at KubeCon and talk to you again about the next meetup. Thank you so much.
Thank you.